I just finished recording a 60-minute masterclass on setting up an AI-powered appointment setting chatbot for your business. Why is this important? Because all the videos I've seen only talk about ManyChat. ManyChat is rule-based, it's not good with AI, and in 2026, right, your leads should not be stuck clicking buttons and having basic text. They want something that's customized. They want something that's personal. AI can do this in 2026, so why are you not using it? So in this video, I show you the tools to use, how to go by structuring the bot, how to use the best copy and conversational design. Also on the call, I do a live one-on-one setup so you can learn from how I do it. And I even share proven strategies that I've used on a 2 million plus followers account, which has been using my bot for 2 years, and they got 3 times more leads in 3 months than they have in 3 years because of all these systems. This video is made especially for those people who have a lot of leads messaging them on Instagram, such as mom and pop shops, home service businesses, fitness influencers, etc. So keep watching the video, watch till the end because every single minute is valuable. Alright, I'll see you there. What's up? In this video, I want to be creating an insanely helpful, insanely insightful masterclass on setting up an AI-powered Instagram chatbot for your online business. Now, what the fuck do I know about this shit? Why should I listen to me? I've set up AI chatbots for influencers, for universities, for D2C brands, all that thing. So you know what I thought? Today I'm bored. Let me create an action-packed video. Starts from how to set up a chatbot, which tool to use, what's the best practice, and how to set the entire chatbot from scratch, start to finish, all in one video. So I know all our attention span is fucked. So editor, pull up a Subway Surfers video here. So it's gonna be playing so you can focus on this shit because it's gonna be the most insanely insightful thing you've ever learned. Okay, editor can just sit over it, I'm just kidding. But guess what? I wanted to start with showing a one simple work that we've done, which is going to be used as an example for this particular video. Yeah, so basically what we've done is the most famous work I've done was for a guy called Law by Mike. Yeah, so it's for this guy. Law by Mike is a very popular influencer in the US. He does lawyer skits. He has over close to 20 million subscribers on YouTube and 2 million on Instagram. He's a lawyer. He gets a lot of these messages from people, hundreds of messages per day, asking them, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? They have lawyer inquiries, and guess what? Before, people were manually processing them, and because people only work for 8 hours a day, leads were getting lost. And guess what? If you don't respond to a lead within the first 5 minutes, the chance of you closing them goes down by 400%. That's research. That's not me. When Robert came to me, he's like, Fahad, you're a handsome little guy, but you need to hook me up. You need to hook me up with the best AI chatbot out there because I can't do this. I can't keep processing and sending messages to people manually. I'm losing leads. I don't know what to do. It's insanely expensive to hire people. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to hook you up, my bro. I'm gonna hook you up. I've been hooking this guy up for the last 3 years. We've been working together with the DMs that are handled by Instagram, and this is what it does. Yeah, so basically he gets thousands of DMs per month. The AI agent that we build collects the key information that he needs for his law firms. It qualifies the lead, it handles the trolls that he gets, and it routes respectively for his fans, for the brand deal, and his friends effectively. So the entire logic is entirely created, and this is what the entire logic looks like. Yeah, so I know it's a bit insane, but I'm going to show you exactly how you can build the same thing for your business and why it looks like this and what made us do these things. Yeah, because we've been, while working with this thing for the last 3 years, I found out what the best things to do or what the worst things to do or what's good to have, not good to have. All these things, and distill this in one single video. All right, so you better get your ass down and watch the entire thing. So let's start with what tools to use. So there are many tools out there. There is BotPress, there is ManyChat, there is VoiceFlow, there is Vappy. So many tools. But what is best for you? I've personally used all the tools out there. I swear I used all the tools out there to see what is the best one. And no, the one I like is not called ManyChat. No, the one I like is called BotPress. Why do I like BotPress? ManyChat and most of these tools are so limited. I want advanced configurations. I want the ability to do what I want. I don't want to be limited by the tool that I'm using. And most of the tools are quite limited. If I want to do something advanced, maybe it may work for me now, but if I want to do something advanced, for example, ManyChat only allows you to use an OpenAI module. You send the data and you get it back. What if I want to do more processing? Based on this, I want to do this. Then I want to do this. Then I want to do this. Stuff like that, it's quite complicated. It's quite hard to do so. So that's why I personally use BotPress, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly how you can get started with BotPress and how you can go by setting up an entire chatbot in BotPress in a very simplified manner. Alright, so the tool that we'll be using is going to be BotPress. So I'm just going to type in BotPress. BotPress is the winner chicken dinner. I just typed in Wiener. Right. Why did I type it out? I don't know. I'm stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm kidding. So we are going to be using BotPress in this video to show you exactly how you can set up an AI-powered chatbot, an appointment setting chatbot for your business. Yeah. And the next thing is, how do we go by structuring this, Fahad? So let me just show you. Yeah. I'm just going to open this up in the next tab. And this is what we've learned. Yeah. When you're structuring these things, when you're structuring a chatbot, the first thing that you need is the intro. Okay. I'm just going to show you how to go by structuring the chatbot. So the first thing that I need you to do is write down what does the process look like. Go through your chats. You go through your chats and see how do people interact. Pull 5, pull 6, pull 10, pull 15. See how people usually interact. And let me tell you, based on analyzing thousands of conversations, yeah, the way people usually interact goes in this way. They give you an intro message on what they want, or they select one of the options. If you have many options in your thing, they select, for example, if you're a D2C store, hey, I'm interested in this product, can you tell me more? Or if you're like an online service provider, hey, I'm interested in this service, could you tell me more? What does it look like? Or they may say hi. So either they're going to have their intent very specific, their intent, they come with the intent, hey, I want this, or it's a generic hi. So in both of these cases, yeah, you need to process them accordingly. If they say hi, you tell them what you can do. What can you do? Hey, I'm this, I can assist you with this. How can I help you with? And then you give them options. Do you need to know this? 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 And then based on what options they select, yeah, this could be like, services, about our services. This thing could be about, about your products. This thing could be about, hey, I got some questions. I can have some FAQs. I want to talk to human. It could be some options. Best thing to do is give them options. And then this like service, you ask them, hey, these are the services that we offer, blah, blah, blah. But what specific questions do you have about this? Then it's question and answers. So let me just show you what's the best way. So firstly, write this thing down, and then I'm going to show you exactly how you can go by doing this. Yeah. So I'm going to walk you through what we did for Lobamax, so you can have better clarity on what a best practice chatbot should look like. So a chatbot should always have an intro. Yeah, it should always have an intro. Like, hey, username, I'm this guy's AI assistant, or it's always good to. I never ever recommend pretending to be human, because it's the worst thing that they can do. Why? Because most of them can somewhat tell that it is an AI chatbot when they see they're quickly responding. So it's always best practice to be upfront about it. Like, hey, this is, and add a persona, add a name to it. It makes it much more human, and they feel like they feel more like talking to them. And this is something that I learned from the conversational design expert. So hey, we call this person RoboMike, because it's Lobamike's robotic mic. I'm RoboMike. I'm Lobamike's AI sidekick. I'm here to help you with. And then we set the expectations. What are we doing here? We are setting the expectations. And let me just write it down in here. Yeah. So I'm just gonna. The first thing I want you to do is, all right. First thing I want you to do is give the intro. Give intro. Could be like, hey. Could be something like hi. And I think I'm already. I don't want to make this video too long. You guys already saw. Hi, I'm this. This is what I do. And then persona plus greeting. All right. And the next thing I want you to do is set expectations on what you can do. Set expectations on what you can do. All right. Set expectations on what you can do. You could tell them, hey, I can help you do XYZ. Because if you set the expectations, they know exactly what they want and what they can ask you. Because if you don't, they're going to go on and on. It's going to go in loop. If you set the expectations right, you can always make sure the bot is used to the best of its capabilities by the customer, because they're going to ask the exact same question and they're going to exactly ask what they want. If you don't set the expectations, it's like an open book. They can do anything that they want. You always set the expectations on what you want, and this is something that we did here. Hey, I'm here to help you with legal questions or connect you with the right people for more in-depth assistance. And this is legal stuff for him. You guys don't need to have something like that. And then we give them, hey, let's get started. You can either choose one of the options. So I always recommend having a mix of rule-based and AI. Don't just use AI, yeah, because don't just use AI. Like, hey, give a big ass prompt and let it do. No, use a mix of rule-based and an AI chatbot, and that's what we're going to be doing in this video. Yeah. So we first give an intro, then we set the expectations, and then what we do, we give them an option. We give them menu options. Yeah, we give them menu options. Alrighty, then we give the menu options. Hey, these are the options that we can have. Either you can choose one of the options, or you can just ask me whatever. So it's like a free flow. Why is this important? Some people are tech savvy. Some people are very old is not the right word. Some people prefer to stick to what they used to do. Some people like to click on buttons. Some people just like to text it out. So you have to accommodate for both. So have a menu option in there, and then based on that, whatever options that you guys have. Yeah, I'm not sure what options you guys would have, because whatever your business is, then it could be like, hey, I have questions on your service. So it could be something like this, and then if whichever options they select, right, they go down to that respective path, and then this can give an overview, give an overview on what you do, and then you go by qualifying them. Then you go by qualifying them. Now I'm getting into the deep end here. When you are qualifying them, it's very, very, very important that we have to structure this in the best possible manner. How do we structure this in best possible manner? It's by doing these things. Best practices when you're qualifying them is, don't ask open-ended question. All right, never ask open. Hey, do you do this? Like, hey, how much money are you making? Like, no, that's not a good example. You could be like, hey, are you really sure about doing this program? Yes or no? It doesn't do anything. Yes or no is not what you want. You want them to feel the pain that they're facing, so they can they can do the action. So you could be like, don't ask them. You can be like, hey, are you sure about doing this program? If so, why? Then they explain it to you, so you can collect more information. Don't ask open-ended questions. And for any collecting key information like phone number, email, always have double confirmation. Like, hey, just to confirm, like, double confirmation. Why is this? Because you and I both know how quickly we Gen Z people text. Yeah, just text it, send, even millennials. So what happens is oftentimes there's a mistake. One thing that we learned is people can't go back with these AI chatbots, just noise them out. So you can be like, hey, just to confirm, is this your actual, like, can you confirm this, the email? They can select no or yes, and then the bot goes back again. The next thing is making sure you set expectations throughout What do I mean by this? One thing that we've seen with Lovermac and other chatbots that we built is when you have a lot of volume, right? A lot of people drop down, a lot of people start dropping off because they feel the bot is just going on for too long. So it's always important that you set the expectations on why you need this information and how many information is left. For example, in Lovermac, we have a lot of places in which we tell him that, hey, we just need few questions from you, after which we can go by handing this over to our lawyer team, so they can start getting in touch with you. And then at the end, we're like, hey, we just have one more question. We have few more questions. This sets the expectations, right? So they can feel like, hey, it's going to be done soon. It's always good for not having them drop off. And once the qualification is done, one very important thing that I don't see a lot of people do is we don't just directly send the data to the CRM. Yeah, we send the data to the CRM. Once you're done, once you're qualified, send the data to the CRM, so they can either you send the data to the CRM, or you schedule the call yeah. And once you do that, yeah, most people just leave it at that. One thing that I do is, Mama taught me that every person you meet, give them some sort of value. Yeah, like, just leave some value. Like, make when you leave the play, let me rephrase it. Yeah, if you meet someone, make sure that you leave that person with some sort of impactful, insightful thing that they can do with. I use the same philosophy in here, and that's been highly engaging and converting to a point where everyone keeps coming back. Most people keep coming back, is we leave them with some sort of value. So since AI knows a lot, you can give them AI analysis till our call. So you can give them some sort of information, like, hey, in the meantime, here's what I think I would recommend you do in your situation, because you can send all the details you collected, you can send it to an AI, you can train the AI on, if you're a fitness influencer, if you're this, if you're that, you can train the AI, like, this is what I would recommend you do. If this guy has this weight, we do this. If this guy has this, we do this. Or if this guy is interested in this product, we recommend this. So we give them an AI analysis, we give them some insane amount of value, and then we tell them that, hey, we're going to call you shortly, please make sure that you pick up the call when we call you, and here's this information. Until then, they're going to be so much happy. Because no one's doing that. We just collect the information, send the data. It's very transactional. Give them some sort of value. And this is what I've seen is the winning formula in terms of having an insanely good AI chatbot. So let's Very simple. Now and if they ask about the service, you just give them the information. You give them the information, give them info, and then you push them back into into the service. Hey, then you push them back into your product by saying, hey, shall we go ahead and start your inquiry or something like that, and that's how you get them back in once you answer the questions. So let me just walk you through step by step on how to do this. Let's take, for example, we will use an example of an online service business on Instagram selling fitness programs. All right, I feel like that's a good use case. All right, now this is what's BotPress is going to look like. I'm going to attach a link to you that's going to give you free trial on using this. Yes, it is my affiliate, so it's going to be paying me something to help me keep making more of these videos. But if you don't want to do it, it's fine. You can log in through BotPress, create an account. So this is what it's going to look like. You're going to create BotPress Studio. You're going to select BotPress Studio, and then it's going to open up to this particular section where you can add all the information in. It's loading up. Alrighty. So one thing I would recommend you do is you can choose the guided step if needed, but I'm going to be guiding you, so I'm your guided step here. Alright. So I'm just going to do this. I'll show you exactly how you can go by building this thing here. So first thing to do is, like we said on this logic, we set the intro. So let me just firstly teach you how does BotPress work. So BotPress work, this is where you can test things out. If you pull this thing up, these are just sections or work. How do I best describe this? These are sections where you can add stuff in. So this is the main section. This is the error section. In case anything goes wrong, this section gets triggered. And whenever timeout means you can set up a timeout. You can be like, hey, in 60 minutes, if no one responds, timeout. And you can define how does the timeout look like. And when the conversation ends, this is what's going to happen. You can have some sort of collect feedback or something like that. So these are the main sections. You only have to deal with the main. That's the only thing I worry about. So let's deal with main, and you can also create different workflows, different folders for the automations you're building. I'll get to that later on. Yeah. So that's that. This section is where you can add your knowledge base. Very important. If you have a website, I'm just going to add my website in here, automatemybiz.ai. And then I'm just going to add those pages. Click on discovery. Discovery is, there's a thing called indexing. You don't have to know what indexing is, but basically it's going to go into a website, pull in all the key information, all the pages, all the information. Depending upon how big your website is, going to take more time. They're going to show you all the pages that exist, and click on add page, and boom, your page is added in. And additionally, I would recommend adding a document as well. You could upload a PDF, but I highly recommend always using rich text. Why is that? The way the AI works is going to go into the PDF, scan it, and get the information. There is always a possibility where it's not able to scan things properly because of the formatting issues or anything like that, which is why I always recommend using rich text. Use rich text and then you can type it in. Okay, how to handle weight program. We're going to wait for individuals. So this is individual. So this is something like this. I can be the heading, and I can add more information in, blah blah blah. This is step 1. Eat less, drink water, go to gym. I'm just kidding, but you guys get the point. Yeah. So we can add more information in, and then every time the AI works, it's going to look into all the databases. So this is the database. Tables, you don't have to worry about tables. It's not something that they'll be covering in here, and it's not important. Actions, not important at this stage. This agent, not important. Basically, they have different agents that you can call onto. It's working on the back end, such as vision agent allows you to basically analyze an image. Summary agent basically does a summary of every single chat. I highly recommend enabling this, because when we are using AI agents, you can ask the AI agent to look at the summary and give an analysis accordingly. Because if you don't do that, it's only going to look at the previous message. Yeah. So that is vision agent. Summary agent and knowledge agent is, I would not recommend you have this enabled. You just have these two things enabled at this point, and that's all. That's the main things that you need to understand. And all right, let's go on to workflows. Yeah. So this is the main workflow. This is how things start. And now let's create the first message. So standard note, these are just standard notes. Is like a box. It's like a card where you can add all the stuff, and it's a way of organizing text. Yeah. So you connect this together, and there are multiple options. You can add a text image, you can add an audio, you can add a video, you can add a file, you can add a card. Card is like a carousel. You can add a carousel. Carousel is multiple cards combined together. Card is just one, and you can send the location as well. And execute code is when you can add a code. I'll explain why this is important. You can in activity time, that is not important. Oops, let me just delete this. And then you can have other AI agentic tools, configurations, and the most important part is capturing information. So this is where you can have single choice information captured. This is when you can have multi-choice information captured. This is where you can capture numbers. They have capturing information for every single item, for every single type of things you'll be collecting: phone number, raw input, colors, time measurement, daytime. And the best part about this is that, if they say, hey, my name is fahad@automembers.ai, it's going to capture the exact email because it's an AI powered chatbot. It's not going to take the entire thing and give it to your CRM. No. So that's why I would recommend always choosing, if you're collecting quantity, use quantity. All right, so let's just first get started. Yeah, so the first thing, what did I say? I said let's have a welcome message. Hi, I am Jim Chad. Persona, I am Jim Chad. I'm here to help you get fit. Alrighty. This is us, Jim Chad, Fahad's personal AI assistant. Then we set the expectations, like I'm here to help you get fit by answering any okay, I'm just going to do that in the next text box. Yeah, so this is first text is done. All right, let's move on to the next text. Copy. I'm just going to either paste the card, or you can just do this. I'm here to help you get fit by answering any questions you may have, and guide you So we set the expectations, like, who's going to contact, what's going to happen next, always best practice. And then I would recommend creating a different node just for organizing purposes. And in here, I can use a thing called single choice. Why is that? This is when you have many options. Please choose from the list below. What all programs do you have? What programs do you have? And then you can be like, what programs do you have? How do I sign up? And then talk to human. And then they can choose from one of these options. I always recommend in menu options, disable search. Why is that? If you don't disable search, oftentimes it's often disabled, but if you don't disable them, sometimes it's going to answer the question for them. And this is what I would recommend you do. So this way, when they choose, it's going to go to the respective option. And next thing is, you can have a very simple AI node. It's going to, hey, what programs do you have? Then you talk about what all programs do you have. So hey, we have XYZ program. Here's all the info on it. Instead of cards, I often like using images, because images, you can add more. Let me just add a very simple image of this, like, hey, get fit in 90 days. In 30 days, and you can give them more information. We have XYZ programs. Here's all the information on it. And then you can maybe even give them information: 30-day program, 90-day program, includes. And then you can add images, you can add text. It's up to you. You can add videos, you can add anything that you want. And then you ask them, you have a simple option for them: which one are you interested in learning more about? then you use a single choice. Yeah, use a single choice option in here. Hey, what would you like to learn more about? Alrighty, and then 90-day or 30-day, and this way when they select it, it's going to go respectively. What did we say? We disable the search so the bot doesn't work, and then based on 90-day we're going to create a node. This is, I'll call it 90-day node, 90-day node, and in here we give them information. So 90-day program includes blah 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 blah, and you can go on and on and on on what it includes, and then you can give them an option. Hey, shall we go ahead and book you in for a consultation, something like that. You can define, you can always use ChatGPT to define the exact copy to use that's going to convert highly, and then you're going to be like, yes, no, I'm good. And then if they say yes, then you go by asking your qualifying questions. You can ask them like, question one, like hey, question one, I always recommend having, before asking the name and all those things, it's always good to spread them out so they don't get bored easily. But let's just first ask their name, and email and confirmation is always at the end. Don't ask them all at the same time. It's a very common thing that people do. Yeah, so let's just collect their name. Okay, let's do raw input. So raw input is when you collect raw information. So what's your name? So what should I refer you? And then you use a thing called name, person name. That's there are some single choice. These are the options that you have here. Single choice, you can multi-option, you have boolean, you can have confirmation number, email address, phone number, full address, splice, raw input. So there is an option called person name. Why am I using person name instead of using raw input? Because raw input would capture the entire thing as name, but person name will find the exact name. If they say, hey, my name is Fahad, it's going to capture just Fahad, and then you're going to store this result in a variable. So there are few variables in here. This is where you can create the variable. You click on this button. There are 4 options to choose from. There is workflow variable, user variable, conversation variable, bot variable. It's too many options, but I'll explain every single thing in the next 30 seconds. Workflow variable, so you can have multiple workflows. Yeah, workflows is just sections. You can divide, instead of having one big automations with all the questions, you can separate them out. You can put them in one folder and then connect this automation to this folder. So workflow variables are often folder based, so it's only going to work in this folder and it's not going to work in this folder. Some people prefer to have variables folder based, so that's when you use this. User variable, on the other hand, it's anytime and every time the user comes back, the user variable is always stored. If someone comes back to your Instagram again and texts you after the conversation ends, from start to finish, the conversation ended, we forgot about them, then they come back, if you use the user variable, it's able to remember the user variable. And conversation variable, on the other hand, it only works within one conversation. Yeah, it only works within one conversation. Bot variable, on the other hand, honestly, I think it's a new addition that they made, so I don't know, I'm not gonna make up something by letting you guys know. So these are the only 3 things that you need to be aware of: user variable, workflow variable, and conversation variable. I often prefer to use user variable in most things, and since we are storing a name, always use an object, because it's, if we check the name, name is an object. You see X, it's an object. I'll tell you why that is. Most things are always going to be text based. If you're going to use this, it's going to be string, but this time it is an object. Why is that? Because it's gonna separate first name, and I'll explain why this is going to be important. Yeah, just put it as a name. Make it as user variable. Alrighty, and then you store them, and then you select where you want to store it. You see username. You're going to store them in here. So every time if they say the user, they say their response, you put it back in there. I always have a thing called retries. Retries have at least 1 or 2 retries. Hey, that doesn't seem right. Can you tell me? Can you? This. something like this. So it's always good to have retries in there. So this is when you collect the first information, and then once we are done, let's move on to the next node, key info. All right, now text, you don't use text, you're trying to capture information, right? Now let's capture their weight. So what are we going to use? We're going to use, there are time measurement, length measurement, quantity measurement. The white thing is weight measurement. So hey, here you have to create a variable, use a variable that's going to be number, because you see this is number 123 is a number, weight. So I know how much. And then you can store the variable in user weight, disable the search, and have retries. Sorry, something like this. It's always good to have retries in there. And then we go on doing this. I'm just going to copy paste it just to speed things up, and then you can ask them, like, I'm just going to remove this card. I'm going to ask them, like, hey, oops, what's your dream state? What's your dream state? And then you store them in user variable, number, dream, weight. You click on this add, and then boom, you select as dream weight. And this is then you keep asking the next questions. Now, very important. What did I tell you? Set the expectation. So how do we do this? Like, hey, we set the expectations, like, hey, and we forgot to do this in here as well. I'm sorry. So let's do it here. Awesome. And then now it's always good. One thing I forgot to do is, once we understand the name, hey, awesome Fahad. Now how do we do the name thing? So it's a bit weird. It's not quite easy. So you just have to type in 2 brackets. There is user. It was a user variable. What is the name? It's name and dot first. That's it. Now it's gonna type in their first name. It's gonna type in the first name. It's gonna give the first name. That's why it's an object, because they capture, they see the entire text, they find the exact name, then they take the exact name, split them up, and put them in like this. And now you have to select if you want the first name or the last name. So type in the variable, dot first is gonna get this, dot last is gonna get this one. Yeah. So awesome Fahad. So awesome, it's gonna say awesome Fahad. I just got few questions for you to see how we can best help you, and we can take it from there. So you're setting expectations, yeah. And then after every 2 to 3 message, have some more expectations, like, hey, that's great, I'm so excited. Help you get there. So we keep, like, few more questions, and we should be good. So, and then we ask them whatever questions that we have left. I'm just gonna create, like, in a standard node, right? And now let's use raw input. Yeah, let's use raw input this time. Hey, why is this goal important to you? And then you create a variable, you create a user variable, yeah, user variable, string, and importance goal, and then you put them in here, importance goal. Always map them, disable the search so AI doesn't jump in and answer instead of collecting the information. Have 1 to 2 retries. Sorry, can you say it again? In case it failed, in case they said something else, yeah. And awesome, let's collect their email now. Email and number we often collect at the end. Standard node, we use an email capture card. Email capture card will find the exact email and pull it out. So, hey, great, it looks like we got everything we need. can you go by sharing us your email so we can get back to you, and disable search, and then create a variable in here that's called email user variable string, and then you store them in email, and then disable search, then retry. Can you, sorry, we didn't get you, can you, something like this, yeah. And then once you capture the information, you give them a confirmation. After this, you can be like, hey, single choice, can you confirm if the thing can you confirm if the email is, then you mention the email. You can use this add signal, by the way, add, or you can use the brackets. Okay, yeah, you can confirm the email is this, disable search, and then you put them in brackets just for the, so they can understand it, and then you give them yes and then no. All right, and if they select yes, then we can move on to the next stage. If they select no, have a different module, like no, then you can copy this, maybe you can copy and paste it. You can be like, cool, what's your email again, and then we collect their email, and then we move on here. All right, and then here we do the same thing. We could try to collect their phone number. Yeah, phone number. Cool, what's your number? So you guys get the point at this stage. I'm just gonna stop right here because it's pretty straightforward from here. You can collect their number, you can put them as number, and then you collect their information, and then you collect their phone number, you put them in number, and then you call it a day. I believe number is string. Phone number is a string, so we have to change this into a string. It's not a number, it's a string. So you put them in there and disable the search, and that's how it gets by. And now how do you go by qualifying them? You can have an AI module in there that can automatically do the qualification, or you can have an if condition. You can store the if condition by having something after you collect all the information. Yeah, there's a thing called transition. This is called I believe it's expression, where it can be like this thing. As you can see, you just type in, so there is equal to, greater, not equal to, etc. So you can type in the stuff like this. For example, what is this? It's user dot name. It's user dot. For example, if user dot weight is greater than 80, and then that's how you can go by qualifying them. Or you can have an AI autonomous module that's going to do this thing for you. So this is how you can go by capturing the most key information, and then you can process things accordingly. Once you can be like, hey, thank you, we got all the key info, we'll process you accordingly. And then you can have if conditions in place to manually qualify them, not qualify them, etc. And then you can mark them as exit. So end is when they end and they go to the conversation end. Now this is the most impressive part. Anyone could do this thing. The most impressive part about BotPress is their autonomous node. So autonomous node, you just give them instructions on what it should do, and then it can go back and forth with the AI. It can go back and forth until an objective is done. So why did I not use this autonomous node throughout the conversation? So that I can collect these information. It's not exactly reliable to collect key information. So when you're designing these things out, yeah, remember when I told you in the beginning that people will come in either with intentions first, or that they just come with high. If they come with the high, you do this. But if they come with an intention, you can automatically guide them to these autonomous nodes. You can have different autonomous nodes, like about service node. All right, and then if they, for example, in here, right, if they want to be open, like I told you, we either give them many options or we give them open-ended things. Yeah, so if they give open-ended things, click on add configurations, add configurations, I believe it's advanced. Click on advanced, add transition to failure, and keep this as 0. Why is it 0? So in case they don't select any of these options and they see something, it's going to go to this autonomous node, and this autonomous node is going to go back and forth, and you tell the autonomous node exactly what to do. And the good practice is you give them a role, objective, examples, and that's it. You give them role, objective, examples, and one more important thing is important notes. I would say put the notes at the bottom. This is when you're testing the bot out and you find more information, like the bot is stuck here, you give them notes in here. You give them notes at the end so the bot can easily understand what it needs to do. So this is one very important thing I would, and you give them, I'll show you an example here. So in How by Mike's chatbot, what we have is, if you go to the main, there is so many workflows folders that we've created. In the main workflow, we have an intent module. In the beginning, we have an intent module that, this is a transition module. I'll get to that later. We try to understand what they're trying to do, and then if we see that they're asking more questions, right, then we push them straight to the AI module that we have. And the AI module looks something like this. Is what the AI module looks like. You see, it has a role, it has inputs, it has intent parts, it has most of the key things that I've explained, examples and notes, important notes. And then you just tell them what it needs to do. And one very important thing that needs to be done after this is you need to add a thing called intent. So intent, what intent means is when it detects that the person wants to do XYZ, you push them accordingly. So in here I can select the intent like this, for example. What is the intent? Let me just select one of the intents. So the best way to push the AI, because what happens is an autonomous node is going to go back and forth. You don't want that to happen. What you want them to happen is, once the autonomous node is done going back and forth, the answer is going to have to go back to the 90-day program, the 60-day program, the 80-day program. So what you do is you tell the AI like, hey, your objective is to answer their questions and get them interested in this particular product. And once you get their interest, save them in this field, and then you mention the field. You create a field, interest. You can create a conversation, because it's only limited to this conversation. I don't want, when they come back, it should not remain. So I'm going to be like interest. So click on add, and then it can be like, hey, save them into this field called interest, conversation.interest. I'm going to copy this interest, and it should be these options: 90 day, 60 day, or talk to human. All right, and then you have different variables accordingly. You can be like, in here you will mention this, you'll mention the variable like this. Let me show you what we've done in here. So we show them like this. So bracket, it's a workflow. You see, it already shows us workflow dot interest workflow. Oh, sorry, it was not workflow. Conversation. I was wondering why it didn't show up. Interest is 90 days, and then you add some more instructions in here, just helpful. If like, hey, if the field, so if this fails, this works. So the field is 90 days. So yeah, and then what you do is, when the intent is that, you push them in 90 days. You can do the same thing for 60-day program. You can do the same thing for your talk to human program. All these things can be connected like this, and that's the best way to do this. Why didn't I let the AI collect all this information? I would not recommend this, because the AI messes things up. It doesn't collect the right information. I would not recommend the AI doing this. And also add the interest variable. Add the interest variable, because if you don't allow it right access, it can't handle that. So yeah, That is how you can make sure this stuff is added in. And this is one of my favorite feature is autonomous nodes. Go back and forth. You can have multiple autonomous nodes. If your use case is quite complex, have an AI transition module to understand, because in this use case there is only what programs do you have, do you want to sign up and talk to human, yeah? Because in other use cases there are so many variables of ways in which people could come by. They could directly say like, hey, I'm interested in a program. If someone says, hey, I'm interested in a program, hi, I'm Chad, I'm Fahad, I don't want that shit to happen. So what do? You give an AI. So I always start with autonomous standard node and then have an AI transition. What is an AI? Is this an AI? It's an AI task, sorry. AI task is basically calling onto AI, ChatGPT, please process this and give me a response. That's what an AI task is. You don't exactly need it right now. So let's use AI transition, yeah? AI transition. And then you give AI transition, you give them... Let me find exactly how we went by building this. And so this is how we build the AI transition. It's just like you give a prompt to AI, you give them rule, you give them... So best practices is always, what's its role? What is it doing? Role, you give them input information. You give them input on what information it has, it needs to basically judge, and basically what information it needs to do the processing stuff. And then examples, always give them examples. And then notes. See, these are the best practices. And role, it can be like, hey, you are an AI categorization agent for XYZ company, and you will help me understand what they need. All right. And then you, very important, this is one thing that very important, how does the AI know how to characterize if you don't give them text information? Yeah. So one thing that if you go in here, resources, you look at quick references. These are the quick references for input fields on the chatbot. So if you use event preview, it's going to refer the most recent message, the last message, the first message. If you click on summary, it's going to give the entire summary out. Only use these two things. Yeah. So in here I'm going to look at, hey, last message is this. Now summary of message is this. Let's use summary of the message, and now you give these both. That's why we enabled that agent, by the way, in the beginning. All right, everything is connected like that. See these dark. Okay. All right. So once these things are done, then you give them information like, hey, role, like, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to categorize them accordingly. And then you can be like, hey, you should be categorizing them into either programs they want, learning more about programs, or talking to human. And then you give them examples. If they say, hey, tell me a program, then we do the same thing, we store the variable. Sorry, we didn't store the variable here, my bad. So then push to 90 days, and we show them exactly what categorizations to use. Yeah, just like how we did it in here. So yeah, we tell them that, hey, they are in the, then push them to 90-day program category. So and then once you do these things, then you put the categories in here. 90-day program, 60-day program, learn more our service, talk to human, or others. And this way, then I give them more examples. And then if it's a 90-day program, right, I directly push them to the 90-day program in here, while they don't have to wait for the bot. One thing I would often recommend is have some sort of, instead of directly going there, have like, hey, awesome, like, have a text like, awesome, looks like you're interested in 90-day program. I'm Jim Chad, by the way. Fahad's AI assistant. So having a quick intro before we push them, very important, is something I personally like, instead of directly pushing them, so it feels a bit more human. And then we directly, so you should be in here, and then we push them to the 90-day program. We do the same thing for all these things. There's 60-day program, you connect them there. Learn more about a service, you connect them to that module. And if it's others, everything else goes to the basic one. This is the best case scenario. And you, by using AI transition, by using autonomous node, is how you can make sure you deliver the best AI agent out there. And one last thing to top it all off is query knowledge base. So this thing called query knowledge base don't exist anymore, it seems. Alright, so if you use the module that's called I believe AI task, you can ask this AI like, hey AI, look into my database and come up with a good plan for this guy. And then you give him all of his information, like weight, height, goals, etc. And then you're telling the AI like, hey, sorry, this is where you put the instructions, this is where you put the AI input, like, weight, this is where you put the weight. By the way, you put the weight in here, you select weight. Where is weight? You select weight, then you select all this information in here, yeah, and then you put the answers. You always put the answer in a field called conversation.ai answer string, and you put the thing in AI answer, and then what you do is, then you give them examples. Remember I told you examples? This is a way in which you can do this using a UI. You give them an instruction, you give them examples, you give the AI an answer on how the answer should be like, and then it's going to train. You can choose which model to use. I often recommend going with 4.0 mini. It's cheap, it's quick, and you can get it from there. Keep the temperature as close to 0, because the higher you go, the more rigid the answers are, which I don't prefer. And then once you're done, instead of saying thank you, we got all the key information in the, do it before AI answer goes first. Then, like, in the meantime, here's some insights for you, and then we add that thing in there, the AI answer. Boom, that's it. That's how you make sure you have the best possible experience out there for them. And now, leveraging these things is how you can make sure you have the best AI chatbot out there. And now I'm going to show you exactly what we built for Law by Mike, so you can understand what a very fully complex chatbot looks like and how do we maintain this. One way I maintain this is by, at conversation end, right, I always ask them, like, hey, I always ask them, is there a single choice? Okay, then I put this as rating. Put number, conversation, number, rating. Then I ask them, like, number, select rating. You can also create them in here, by the way. I don't know why I did that. I could have easily done this in here. Where is rating? Did I not create it? I think I didn't create it. Let's keep creating it in here, yeah. Workflow rating is fine as well. Number, what's your number? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate me? And then we go by rate, and then we collect that information. And then the next thing is raw input, then message, rating message. How do you and then we try to understand from them on what they think is good. You store them into a sheet, and then you see all these information. How do you store them into a sheet? You use very simple execute code. I'm going to send you the exact code. I'm going to put this in the description. It's very simple. So what we did for Law by Mike at the conversation end is a very simple thing. Once we collect all the information, we have a execute code that's gonna execute code that's going to send the details to my CRM. It's going to send, so this is the code, yeah, very simple code. All you're doing is just copy paste this, and these are the input, these are the title, end time, start time, this, that, and this is the value. So you select, if it's a user ID, it's a user variable, it's user.name of the variable. If it's a conversation ID, you put as conversation ID. These sessions are just, ignore these sessions thing, yeah. So this is how we make sure the data is sent. You select the webhook, you paste the webhook in here, and this is how you can send the data for this, and also to your CRM as well. In most CRMs you don't exactly have to do this, because if you click on Explore Hub, most of your CRMs are going to be here. HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, Go High Level. You can have your app in here. You can connect your app in here. By the way, you can connect to your app. It's going to show up your app. You can select the app, and then what's going to happen once you install the app is you can have an option. It's going to show up an option as Go High Level, as ActiveCampaign, as this. Select this, you can input it. You don't have to have a webhook and all that stuff. If you want to use it through Zapier or Make.com, you can have the webhook, yeah. So that's the overarching view. I know it's maybe you got the gist of it, but you want to understand how did you actually do it for that guy, so you can get some reference. So let me just show you step by step on what we did for that guy, yeah, the entire thing. All right, so let's go to the start. We split everything up into different workflows, put them all in different folders. Why is that? So everything remains clean. So just ignore these things. One of the things that he wanted was, like, Fahad, I get a lot of messages from my friends. I don't want the bot to work, because the bot is always going to be on Instagram, yeah. The way you download them is the way you install it to your Instagram is go here, integrations, click on Instagram, and once Instagram shows up, install it. Once you install Instagram, his is already connected, authorized. Once you install Instagram, it's always going to be on Instagram. That's one who's handling all the conversations. What if you don't want the AI to be involved? You want something else. You want to talk to your friends without the AI handling it. So I gave him a code word. I told him, for like, Ugo, whenever this code word is typed, the AI is going to be blocked. So the code word is LBM. So we check, hey, does the last message contain the word LBM? If so, we stop the bot. We stop the bot, and we update the field called user.blocked, and every time someone messages, we check, is the user blocked? Yes, stop the message. So that's that. And then we have the AI transition, yeah. So we have this AI transition. Hey, you're a world-class Instagram DM classifier for lawyers. Your only task is to make sure you categorize them accordingly. We give them the last message, we give them the summary, and then we give them the categories. These are the categories that you have. Your instructions are this, like, hey, based on the last message and the conversation, you try to put them into different categories. And these are just notes from our testing, yeah. We saw that some people say, hi, love your work, stuff like that. I told them always put them in others, and then I give them examples. If they say this, it's this category. If they say this, it's this category. If they say this, it's this category. Then I put all the categories in there, then I connect them respectively. So we have a special talk to lawyer path in here. There is a talk to lawyer. Where is the path? There is talk to lawyer path, need a lawyer path. There is a I'm a fan path. There is a brand collaboration path. So we connect them accordingly, and we have the intro message like, hey, I'm Robo Mike. This is a 1 second delay, by the way. This is how you can add 1 second delay in there. You add a 1 second delay. We tell, hey, love it, thank you, blah, blah, blah. Just a heads up, I'm your attorney. I can do XYZ stuff. And then we push them to the lawyer path. We push them to the lawyer path, and the lawyer path does the following. And if they are having a video idea, we push them to the video idea path. If they're brand collab, we push them to that path, etc. If they're a normal person, it's the same. Hi, I'm Robo Mike. I can do XYZ things for you. And then we give them some legal stuff, and then we give them the option, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to do this? 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 Or do you want to do this? These are the options that we have, and based on this, it's going to go to the respective flow. And in case they type some random stuff here, the AI failure module, failure module is going to go to the AI autonomous agent, where it's going to go back and forth and find the item, yeah. So that's what it does, and this is what the need a lawyer path looks like. Let me show you the lawyer path. Lawyer path has a bunch of questions like, hey, got it, I'll help you connect with the right person. I just need few quick details so we can get processed accordingly. And then we ask them all the questions. We keep asking like, hey, awesome, you're doing amazing, you're doing great so far, Fahad, like, full name. I just need few more questions to follow up and prioritize. My team's gonna need your email. So we keep giving them reassurances. I need this for this, I need this for that. We ask them for the email. Hey, what's your email? Awesome, it's this thing, right? Then you confirm. We ask them for this, we ask them for that. And then one thing they have is they have different questions for different cases, so it's going to go in here. You don't need that. And if it's video idea, we try to collect their video idea information, then we push them to the newsletter. They sign up for the newsletter, and then conversation ends from there. So that's how the whole thing works. And yeah, at the end we give them some tips. So this is the AI agent's instructions, like, hey, here's the user response, here's the conversation summary, here's all the questions, give them some tips, and then we send the tips back to them, and then we end the conversation. So that's how it is. I want to show you the autonomous agent as well. So this is the autonomous agent. The autonomous agent is connected to this bot, and this is what it does. This is your role. You're supposed to classify this, you're supposed to answer the questions, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to go back and forth and give them any clarifications, and then if the clarification is resolved, then we push them to this. If the clarification is not resolved, we push them to this, we do this, we do that. So every instruction is dialed in, and when the conversation ends, we be like, hey, did I help you with everything? Is everything good? Yes or no? If they say yes, awesome. Can you let me know how we did on a scale of 1 to 10? And what could we have done differently? Like, hey, what could we have done differently so we can improve ourselves? Thank you. Then that's it. So that's how the whole process goes. Yeah, that's how the whole process goes. So yeah, that was the masterclass on how to build an AI agent. I know it's a bit complex, but I swear I tried my best in simplifying this as much as possible. If you have any questions, I know that you're gonna have questions, put them in the comments below. I will personally check there and answer them for you. So I hope this video was insanely valuable. I believe it's 1 hour long, but it's probably going to be the best course that you've ever taken around this and explaining how you can set up an AI appointment setting chatbot. And yeah, feel free to ping me or reach out to me if you need any more assistance, need any more clarifications. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one, and let me know if you like videos like this. Yes, we can do more of this. Thank you.